Hi. Okay, this is a general intro that I'm going to add to every one of the 12 readings I'm about to do for each sign individually, but I've got the cards organized right now. I'm going to do house readings. I'm going to go for each sign. I'm going to check each of your 12 houses, what your energy is in them, and that's my idea of the most accurate sort of diagnosis I can come up with. You know, it would be my version of, you know, it's similar to the, well, it's not similar to a Celtic cross or something, but in terms of not just my free flow normal readings. So what I wanted to show in introduction was how I'm going to use the cards to classify a bit. I'm going to identify, I'll put, one card will be up here, so whatever your sign you are that you're going to be identifying with in the reading, it'll be up here. For me, this is Aries energy, Leo energy, and Sagittarius energy, but by houses, by first, fifth, and ninth houses, right? That's what how I'm classifying the energy. So you might very well be King and Queen energy and watching for Aries, right? So I'll what I'll do is I'll have the Page of Wands up, identifying it as Aries, but the other cards will go back in the deck. So if you are coming out in Knight or Queen or King energy and it needs to come out in the reading, then it will, okay? And we'll correctly identify. So similar, Taurus, because we all know, I keep going on about this, I reclassified Earth and Air to match the houses, but also there are more reasons to reclassify them in their cardinal, mutable, and fixed energies than just the cardinal points that Ptolemy gave them. So I'll make a video arguing that out. I explain it most videos, but Taurus at Page, cardinal energy, Virgo, Knight, and then the entrepreneur, because of the career house, the 10th house is career house, so King and Queen energy for Capricorn, okay? But again, same old. If you're watching for that sign and you're in other, you know, you're in a particular energy, then it'll come through in the deck, because I'll just put the one card up as a signifier and the others will be back mixed in with the deck. So Gemini, and otherwise, so remember Earth and Air I've reclassified. Gemini, Libra as the Knight, and Aquarius as Queen and King because of 11th house, 3rd house, 7th house, and 11th house, okay? And Cups, Cancer, 4th house, Scorpio, 8th house, and 12th house with Pisces. And I would make note that with Pisces, because the 12th house is all houses, and Pisces can take on the qualities, the attributes of any sign, because they've been through all of them. So this Queen and this King wear all the crowns. Even more so than how we classify with the Emperor, right? Or even the Empress. These two, because they're all signs and all houses, they wear all 8 crowns. So that's how I classify those. They'll be representing your sign. For the houses, I know that this is typically in tarot, this is an Aquarius card, but I like it to be, I'm going to use it, it can be identified with Aries in first house, yes. And so I believe in astrology it's used as a first house card, is how I first learned it. So I'm going to use it for first house. I'm going to use the Hierophant. I often, in my astrology work, I'll use him as Chiron, as a planet placement, but I'd rather use him in this. I won't worry about a Chiron card. I'm going to use him as the 2nd house. Lovers for 3rd house. Chariot, because it gets confusing between the, I use the High Priestess card, which is normally a 4th house card. I use her as a Lilith placement, which may or may not come out in the reading, but I'll know if it is. And Lilith, as a lunar experience placement, can be magnetisms and polarities. So they'll give me definite messages if I need. So I'm using the Chariot because that is a 4th house card. It's a Cancer card, so it might as well be used. I'm using the Strength card for 5th house, yes. Of course, Hermit for 6th house, Justice for 7th house, Death for 8th house, Temperance, of course, for 9th house. And I get torn with this because I know it's Capricorn, but it's I could use the World card, but I use the World card for Saturn as a planet placement. So I'm going to use Capricorn's card, the Devil, for 10th house, Aquarius and the Star. And I do equate the Tower more with 11th house with Uranus than with Mars and Pluto in Scorpius. It's a split camp. If you go researching online, it's as far as I know, it's a 50-50 split. But I've done my research, and I've got my articles that I refer to that identify the issues that the Tower brings more with Uranus issues. So I'm going to use the Star, obviously, for Aquarius. And then in astrology, the moon is Cancerian, but in tarot, it is Pisces. So, and I need it because Hangman has the Neptune meaning. So these will be, I will use these. They won't be in the deck. They're going to be signifying the houses. So they're going to stay out of it. So what we do in place of them, and they'll be up here. I'll just have one card up at the top, and that'll show which house we're working on. And then for the planets, right? So these will be put back in the deck so that if there's a house that's affecting your house that we're reading about, or there's a planet affecting that, right? Then we have them mirrored, right, by their rulers here. So Sun and Leo, the 5th house. Mercury, so the Magician is Mercury in 3rd house. Of course, Venus, 2 houses. We've got 7th house and 2nd house there. So, and we're going to use High Priestess as Lilith. So any lunar house she might represent, right? But let's say she typically represents the moon, so that would be Cancerian. But Mars, right? Emperor. Jupiter, the wheel. Saturn, the world. So for me, Uranus, the Tower, Hanged Man, Neptune, and Judgment, Pluto. Okay, so those will be put back in the deck. And now let's get to your individual readings, and I hope that makes sense. That's what I do when I'm using the cards in chart work. And now, I'll break for a moment, and I'll be right back. Okay, Aries. All right, how are you doing? Let's find out. Let's see how you're doing in your very own house, the house you rule, the house of self. We'll just get a few cards. And let's say these could be, since this is an unusual kind of reading, this could be time sensitive for a while. We'll see what the cards want to say, how immediate they want it to be. And, well, you'll know by the message anyway. Well, yeah, we'll be able to tell by the context of the message. And they'll tell me. All right, so first house. How many cards do we want for that? First house of self. Any self versus the other. So right now we are in a Leo energy. We're in a transformation that is stuck. Going back to that 6, you need the affirmations, you need the attention, you need the audience. Okay. Did I have, let's see if I've got him showing enough. Yeah. Okay. So, some Knight of Wands energy. True enough. Okay, possibly, it's just sort of smacking out, so I'm going to put it back in the deck, but possibly some career problems. Wouldn't be surprised with a transformation of identity. Anything else? Some paragraphs. Okay. Crossed with Virgo energy. Yep. So maybe we'll just take that that 9 of Pentacles back. Maybe we'll do that because that's an affirmation. They're like, see, don't question us. Okay. All right, so this is your first house, and we'll get a whole, the first house relates off into the 5th house and the 9th house, all your fire energy, right? But it can also relate to the 7th house because it's across the chart it's across the zodiac from your 7th house. So you versus the other. So we could check that next, is what we could do. Let's see if that's you. Then let's see. Well, you know what? No. I'm kind of just jumping on this, going with it. So no, we've got, yeah, your progress is halted in your pentacles because the transformation is needed. Now, a transformation is needed because you need, we need that gift. We need the attention. You need your audience. But how do you get your audience? That's the question. So that's the problem we want to solve. That's the problem we want to solve. Okay, so let's put that to the side. It's been months since I did this. I think I did this either in November or December. And, yeah, let's just keep them up there. All right. All right, 2nd house. What's the deal in the 2nd house then? Now, this would be your cash flow, your finances, your investments, of course, there's learning and teaching here. But stability, debts, any problems in your 2nd house, any awesome things in your 2nd house. Well, if it's awesome to go to the floor. Okay, I've got a 45-degree angle. Okay, there's a hang up over a soul contract. This is my free will and soul contract card. So there's some difficulty between free will and soul contract. Let's find out if this is between you and that other, or you and a king. Well, because of the way I'm doing it now, I'm going to say there's a Pisces involved, or there's somebody who's deep in their Pisces energy. It could be you. This could be very much hangman energy of, now, I mean, it's in the upright. So he's being very intuitive. She's being very intuitive. Everything is connected. Wearing all crowns. So very tied into soul contracts. Absolutely. And you might be, okay, and some nice cross energy. So there's your 1st house energy repeating. We have a 2 of Wands. Yeah, and you're stuck. It's a decision card. It's a decision card. We're in between free will and, so your will is stuck. Probably, possibly wondering what the heck. Like, okay, let's find out. But we know that that's an issue because it's going to be affecting your finances. So now, if we look at this financially, there is a loss of an investment, right? Because this is something not being financially fair, right? There's a debt. Okay, so there's a debt, and what do we do? See, okay. Mercury, your mind. You have the answer in your mind. This person is in their mind. Well, actually, since it's sideways, you're kind of in your mind, kind of not in your mind. Are we ignoring? Are we pretending like we don't know? Now, Magician's energy has been extremely strong in your story for months now because you're stepping into like a career magician mode. Whatever that means for you, there is an identity that is definitely tied to, like, you can't run away from it. You can't push it aside. You can't pretend to be something else. And so there's probably resistance there. And this was a process. This was on a 45-degree, wasn't it? Yes. And so there could be the sense of fear about stepping into this king mode. Let's see. That's for 2nd house, but again, that's where your wealth is going to lie. That's where you're going to succeed. I'm going to put this one actually that way so that I remember. Okay, so that's second house. Third house. Now, choices, ethics, possibly lovers. But we'll see if anything affirms that by coming out as a Libra partnership energy, right? But passions, truth about Adam and Eve. Okay, so that's smacking out. Okay, so we have, right, what did I say? This is for me, Libra energy. Six of Swords reversed, so there's a gift that's held up, it's not come through. It's a safe passage card, but it's a 6 that is a gift. So you've got 2 gifts. You're waiting on, like, we've got a 7 reversed to a 6, and then we've got a 6 reversed to a 5, which is a necessary change. This gift is dependent on a change of thinking or communication. Aha. Go back to that second house, which shows your money. What else? Is this, and it is because it's a Libra card. I'm saying I was saying we needed affirmation if it was going to be an actual relationship. So I'm saying it's a relationship. And I did have a 6 of Swords upright come out for Aries in a personal reading. So what the heck happened? Okay, that wanted to go sideways. It was going to be upright and went sideways. So something's not working. More Pentacles energy. It's affecting your Pentacles energy. So far, it's affecting 3 houses. Is it not? No, I could be wrong. What was in your first house? Yep, Knight of Pentacles. Yep, absolutely. Because now we've got Taurus, and we've got Taurus, Capricorn. We've got 2nd, 6th, and 10th house already on the table, and we're only 3 houses in. Okay, so absolutely something about this matrix is just got you stuck. This is putting the correct value on yourself. This is about conflicts of interest, getting into a situation that you don't want to get into, manifesting with people that you might not want. How much have you done your research? But how much do you know? What's your level of awareness, right? Have you actually researched the work that you should be doing? Or are you avoiding that in that 2 of Wands that's stuck? Because this is working with that 2 of Wands that's stuck in your house of self. So I think your mind is split. I think you're not paying attention to what you need to pay attention to, Aries. But why? We'll find out. We'll find out. There's a crisis somewhere. Well, I think we know what it's looking like. It's looking like identity. But look, I know what it is to step in. God. Did you have to get so close to the flame, Aries? Yeah, because you fire. Okay, so here we have... Okay, there's a lot going on in what you need to know. You need to be learning, Aries. This is the house of learning. Gemini is what you know. Aquarius is what you do with what you know. Look at this. We've got, for me, this is Aquarius showing up right here. Okay, another 2. Another 2. Now it's kind of on an angle, so we could say it's in process. Okay, but going back to the Ace, you don't know the truth. What are you ignoring the truth for? You're ignoring the truth, Aries. Why? Or you don't know it because you haven't done the research. But I've got Pluto energy here where you don't know your true strength. You don't know your inner powers. This is also for me becoming a sense of humor card. Because I'm trying to remember why, but in my astrology work I realized through working through all my water houses that something that gets taken, because Pluto is hidden powers and I put as stolen powers, because this is not a nice universe and we don't get born knowing our chart, right, and accepting it as truth. It took me 42 years to be brought back to the stars. I started off with them, but then I lost them. And so, stolen. What happens when you go through stressful shit? You lose your sense of humor, and you don't necessarily, and if it's really bad, you don't even know until you start to laugh again, and then you realize you had lost your sense of humor. And if you don't have your sense of humor, you are not surviving, right? Stuff like that. So there's stuff, but there's stuff in your chart that you have to dig into. You have to know your chart, but you have to know it well. You have to use sidereal placements, mix them with the tropical. Please get in touch with me for God's sake. But remember that there's that person on the other side from heaven who's trying to communicate with you and get you to get tarot cards. You need to get tarot cards again. Okay. Queen of Pentacles she identified as. So all right. And then yes, we've got, oh, hang on. Okay, so then what did I miss? Because the camera cut out. So then if you do all this, if you get your hidden powers, if you get, do the work, do the research, and then you'll know what, then you'll be convinced. I think you're not convinced. It's hard to know if you don't put one foot in the door. And you put one foot in the next world, yes? But if you do that, then you have your 10. This is completely, your finances are completely dependent. We've been saying it for months. They're completely dependent on you being magician. Okay, so let's look at, and magician came out ahead of Mercury. Mercury came out ahead of Gemini. So magician, Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo, right? Okay. That was the first card. Let's put that there. Very fine. Third house. Now, let's see what's going on with your guides in your fourth house. Ruled by Moon, conscience. Yes? Conscience. So who are you? Now, there's your family in this life. Yes? And then there are your ancestors. And then there are your professional guides. And whoever else, there's God, there's whoever else, if you're in touch with a specific kind of people that have passed over. I'm connected to murder victims and victims of violent death. If there's anybody like that trying to get through to you. I know the one Aries, he wants to connect with sports stars that have passed over. He's heavy into sports. He's a coach. And that's one of the things that motivates him about getting into this. He still hasn't done it, but I said yes, because people that have been in, look, I've got Page of Cups wanting to pop out. I've got a Cancer right there. Page energy. Process card. But, disconnect. But yeah, no, people that are that were in the professions that you're in, or the things that you should be doing, they're part of, like, connected to your North Node, and they are there to help. They have a vested interest in you doing exactly what you should be doing to help further the work that they did and what they struggled with while they were, while they were here. So absolutely, famous people want to help you. And you get evidence, you get proof that they are. Once you start stepping in, then you start, but before that, then it's your mind writes it off. It'll make a note of it, maybe. Wow, that was an amazing experience. Wow, that was a coincidence, until you have like 1,000 coincidences, right? And at some point you got to step. I think it's that step. I think the step is what's holding us up here. And now we need to just know why. But again, patience, Kristen. Patience, be understanding. I've been here, absolutely. We have 5 of Cups, we have the necessary change. This is Scorpio energy. We have all Cups energy here. We have Cups down and down. Anything else? We have a psychic disconnect and a necessary change, leading back to that 4 of Cups, which is complete Cancerian energy. And we have melancholia here. But by and large, we have, definitely, and look at all this, look at this contrasting motion, right? Whoa! Yeah, okay, so they're just affirming for me. Pisces energy, now we have that King of Cups in your first house. And now we have a card representing that King of Cups, like turned on an angle downwards. Yes. So you're torn between that King of Cups. What was on the other side? The Pentacles, the free will. You're not sure if it's free will or if it's a soul contract. It's a lot to believe in soul contracts. Okay. Well, that's all cups in it. Right there. That's our diagnosis. Right there. Let's put it sideways. Okay. 4th house problems, definitely. But do we have other problems? Let's go to Leo. Let's go to 5th house. So leadership, creativity, pride. And we had Leo energy right at the beginning in South. Where you needed that affirmation. Okay. Now, like I said, I bring her into a reading for magnetisms and polarities, Lilith energy. So, divine timing on the table here. Have we had it anywhere else? Yes, we've had magician, who would also excel at capitalizing on magnetisms and polarities. So there are some polarities happening. There's like a, you know, now what do we do about it? You need to change your audience. Okay, yes, absolutely. Again, we have a Libra card showing up again, so others. Now, it could be that relationship again, because we've got the 7 of Swords leading back to that 6 of Swords, right? And we had the 6 of Swords down in Gemini, right? And so, yeah, there's something to do with contracts. There's something to do with soul contracts. There's something to do with long-term partnerships, long-term situations that's affecting. This is a transformation card. It's a 7. Doing what you need to do to look after yourself. And so if we're leading back to that safe passage, and the safe passage is leading back to the necessary change of thinking, and that leads back to what you got to do about knowing what you know, and you got to do some research, right? So we're looking at chains of events here. We're looking at cause and effect. And so because we've got magnetisms and polarities, so then I'm not a law of attraction person by any means. It's only 50% right. It's only 50% right. No, it's only right 50% of the time. But 50% of the time it's right. Okay? So right now, there's something about what's being attracted, because if you're not in full magician mode, you are susceptible, right? But you're also barking up the wrong tree. Because you're hit and miss. Like, you might be doing very well where you're at, but it's crushing into something. It's crushing into your inner magician, right? So is that that seems to be what's the case, Aries. Yep. Okay. So Saturn energy. God. Wow. Look at this. Okay. Now this doesn't count as a major arcana moment because we're using it as an indicator of a house. But this is Saturn, fears, boundaries, and calculated risks. Ta-da! It's time. It's time to make that calculated risk. But we've got achievement here. We do have achievement echoing that 6 of Wands from the 7 of Wands in reverse in your first house. So they're saying... Now this is changing energy, right? And this is fixed charted energy. And it's going to shift. Saturn's going to shift it. You've got lunar energy and Saturn energy. But both fairly feminine. I'm gaining more and more confidence that Saturn's more of a feminine energy than a masculine. And so, yeah, those boundaries. Okay. But leadership, right? Absolutely. Who's leading her? No one. No one. Anything else for this house? To clarify. If it is... No, we know what it is. The swords are clarifying. The swords are the thinking, communicating, the contracts, but what you know. And it's hard to sign. It's hard to know who your audience is when you're still stuck knowing basic truth. When you're still stuck researching, because you can't say yes to what you don't know. Right? Now these are both in process. Yes? They're not straight up. They're not sideways. They're not stuck. They are moving. They are changing. And this is green light. Okay, so let's put those, they're parallel to each other. They're moving in the same direction. They are moving in the same direction. Okay. So, we already know you have issues in your Virgo, in your 6th house. But this will be workplace routines, health, problem solving, right? That's what this house is in a nutshell. Okay, kind of a process card. Yeah, okay, so for me that's the first card of Virgo. Necessary change again. And it's going to have everything to do with that, your Lilith magnetisms and polarities, because you're out in the cold and you're going back to that 4 of Pentacles. Just like we were in the 5 of Cups, right? Going back to the 4 of Cups. And that's stability. So there's 2 instances of instability. And this is, you know, representing an institution, a religious institution. And I would say it's time to turn your back, probably, on whatever your ideas are, because you need to do the investigation, right? So if we don't know, you need to investigate to know what you're turning your back on, right? What you're ignoring, or what you're avoiding, what you're scared of. You got to investigate it, and then decide what you're going, you know, and maybe be honest, communicate it. Write it out. Frankly, it's kind of amazing to me that we're still in this. See? Wow. I really do like this kind of reading. Okay, Sagittarius energy, but 9th house energy. Faith. The truth. This king knows what he believes in, who he believes in, and knows what the truth is. He's all about healing. He's about, and then those long journeys. We're talking about the trajectory of the rest of your life. I mean, I realize long journeys for Sagittarius mean physical journeys in this world, and that will have everything to do with it, right? But this is also your highest form, your highest fire energy, Aries. So this is where this is where you need to know yourself. The Hermit needs to know himself, yes, and he's guided. He's guided. This has lizards of revelation, these little roundabout creatures, and there's another lizard there, if I took it off camera, right? Revelations. Not the book that's full of crap, because back in the day, and then when it was, you know, hacked together, pieced together, and yes, I've got 26 years behind me in just about every denomination of Christianity, and I've got services memorized, I've got everything, and I was a Sunday school teacher, and I was the nursery supervisor, and I've done it all, and the last thing I did was the best passion play anybody's ever been in. I used 52 people in my congregation, ironic, and I still love my Jesus, and he's a brown person, he's not white, but there's a lot more. Okay, so my cousins that are missionaries, they're elderly now, but they were with Sudan Interior Mission, and look up the crap that's done. And in the meantime, I had dealings in my psychic world with the Orisha. I didn't know that they were Orisha at the time. And then getting into all this, I realized, I was like, okay, so let's look up who my cousins were part of targeting in all their work. And I thought they were in Niger, but it turns out they were in Nigeria, and maybe they were in Niger some of the time, but the very people that they were targeting, the Hausa and the Yoruba, and it's the Yoruba that give us the Orisha. Do you see how the universe works? Well, not the universe. Do you see how God works? I think the universe is actually Masonic, but this pocket of the multiverse. So I'm saying all that in a little ramble because there's the information is all available, but you need to be guided into it. So you need to get good with your guides. You need to say yes first, right? To the part of you that's been saying no, you need to decide that you're going to not always be a reactor, and you're going to step into actor mode. And really, so I think it's that simple. I think it's that simple for 6th house, because there's no point in worrying about the 6 and 7 until we take care of that 5 and that 4. Get that stability. Okay, and for time's sake, So, since we've had Libra showing up in the reading enough as well, let's see what's going on in your 7th house. Okay. A new beginning coming. It's not here yet, but it's on its way. Okay, Aries? Any more information on that? Any more information on that? Yeah. There's paragraphs wanting to come through. Thank you. Thank you. What did we have? I just want to take a moment here. See, I was like, we could go straight across the zodiac to the house of the other. That is straight across from the house of the self, which is your house. Yes. But let's go in sequence, I said. Right? And let's. Because then we know that we made it all the way to here until that 6 of Wands showed up. Because we needed that 6 of Wands, because the 7 of Wands came out in reverse in the 1st house. And here it is right across from you in the house of other. Ta-da! That's why this is such a good way to read. Thank you. Thank you, Kali. Yes. Let's just put that over there with that Knight of Pentacles. And what's he carrying? Is he carrying that ace? Yes. Yes, he is. But why is he sideways? Why? And look at all the pentacles she has. That entrepreneur. Let me get the fridge. But we see we have that transformation stuck and the gift is stuck. I'll turn the fridge off now. Why is the gift stuck? Why is that attention stuck? Well, we do know in Leo energy that we've got divine timing. Yes. Let's just do a little. Yeah. We've got the problem of. There we go. We'll get our Leo cards, our 5th house cards here. What do we have? We have that timing of your polarities and your magnetisms needing to switch. And that's Kali, that's, you know, like whoever you want to identify as divine feminine. Not divine, no, that's wrong, because I don't mean your divine feminine. I mean God as, you know, the female who has some kind of godly involvement. For me, grandmother spider, also known as Kali, also known as, well, I don't want to say that she's the same as an Orisha. So we could say, and Orisha are not gods and goddesses. They work for a single god. They help. But some deep feminine, very, you know, bigger than us energy. Okay. And again, I would say the same for Saturn. So there's something that you need to know about her, probably, or that's part of it. Okay. But we do have, in this, we have that necessary, we have that transformation happening of what you know, which takes us back to 3rd. Yes. Because you're right here on the verge. That's what you are. And let's just put that back. I'll just leave the 1 on the table for now. Now, whence comes this gift? This attention, this audience, this, because that's what that is, right? Well, we were dealing with the 7 of Swords reversed, right? So it's still going back to that 3rd house. But is there anything else we need to know? Woo! Facing off with that ace. Wow! Did we not get 10 of Pentacles showing up as the result? If you... Where the heck did that one go? That was in your third, was it not? Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Wasn't it? If you do that, yep. That's a Queen of Pentacles energy. Getting your inner power, getting your sense of humor, getting your knowledge, but your hidden stuff, doing the research and finding out about yourself and stepping into that. The thing about that I didn't mention there with the Pluto energy there is the stepping into it. That's Scorpio energy of stepping into one, keeping one foot. I did mention keeping one foot in this world and putting one foot in the other world, in the spirit world, bridging them. Yep. Now, she's holding this pentacle as well. So in terms of career, you'll get the attention once you've got the right career. Yeah? And you get the right career once you go and do that third house work. Boom. But it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And you have to get... That's in 7th. So that has to do with, yeah, all your contracts. It's already set. These are already contracted situations. That's what they are. And so they're waiting. They're not like they'll come when they're supposed to come. There's not going to be a mistake here. So what am I doing? We need 8th house here. Okay. Oh, process. Do we really just say anything else? No, we don't. We're going to move on to 9th house. Spiritual completion, fulfillment, fullness, everything. Communion. Yeah. Okay. It's in progress. It's in progress. We're going to put it sideways today. Just remember that. Okay? Thank you, Scorpio, for being so clear on that. 9th house. So, Sagittarius energy. Now we already know where you showed up as the king of, right, in Sagittarius energy was upside down. Not knowing what you believe, who you believe in. Yes, we have happiness stuck. We have 5th house stuck, but your sun is stuck. Ah! Sun is instincts and triggers, yes, because we're taking it as a planet. It's not, I can't believe I just said those words, but yes, okay. So we're taking it as an influence. And for me, sun is triggers and instincts. And so you're caught between triggers and instincts. But it's charted. Interesting, more charted, yes. Well, just the same as you're stuck. You're in process with polarities and magnetisms, who you're attracting and who you're pushing away. And again, if you take that as, complacent, apathetic, right? It's not unhappy because it's not reversed, right? It's the happy when it's upright. The moon's my happy card, but you're not creative either. Like the sun is all about expressing and leading, right? So you got that 6 of Wands, and we do have that 6 of Wands in reverse. So again, we're going to come back to Pentacles energy, aren't we? Pentacles or swords, somewhere in that process. And I think basically, or Sagittarius energy repeated. Okay. So this is not about swords or pentacles. You are, this is the Wounded Warrior card, but this is proving yourself to everyone. Now it's in the upright, but what I'm seeing from this is when you're in the 9, then, and this is also a card of one of my primary spirit guides, who always gives me the nudge when it's time to leave a situation. But so hi, Agatha. But no, proving yourself to everyone, and it's the midpoint in Sagittarius, in 9th house, right? There's 8 is proving yourself to yourself, 9 is proving yourself to everyone else, being able to, and 10 is completion, right? And completion of soul contracts. So I would say you've got many soul contracts here, and maybe you're a bit tired of them. Again, if we go back to that Six of Pentacles, there's debt. There's debt, probably from these. So your faith has cost you. Is that what we're saying? I've got a card stuck. I'm going to wait for it to fly out, though. Hopefully not into the fire. Okay. Heavy duty work, Capricorn energy. In process, work in process, work in progress. Improving yourself to yourself, but focusing on self, who you are, right? Because there's so many of who they were, who they are, and what they're doing to you. And so work on you. The self comes first. And we know that. We need that knight to do his thing, right? I said it would come back to Pentacles or Swords, and first it came back to, they made sure I understood that it's a crisis of the past. The past has caught up with you. It's not caught up with you. Okay, so in case the camera missed it, and maybe then in case you've missed it, the Four of Wands came out sideways, and that's yourself. That's the final card of Aries. So that's stability. So we have two fours that are down, complete, right? And now we have a stability that's stuck in yourself. Now we could say this is, it's the 11-11 card, so it's a twin flame card. So it could be, take us back to that partnership, yes, that relationship, if the relationship is stuck. Because it's waiting on, it needed that safe passage. And maybe because, now the only reason why that safe passage can't happen, and it's not that safe passage, that Six of Swords that's in reverse, that isn't fixed energy. That can happen anytime, right? So we can turn that six around with what we do. And so that, and it's Swords energy, which is dependent on you doing the research. So if you do the research and you get the knowledge that they want you to have, they need you to have some kind of knowledge, and they'll tell you what it is and when it is and all that stuff if you step into it, right? And once that happens, then you get the safe passage in that relationship, right? So things are stuck because it's the energy that's dependent on us, not the chart, not the gods. Okay, this is all the Four of Wands sideways and the Six of Swords reversed is on us to do something, and we know what it is. Anything else? Yep. Okay, affirmation, wish fulfillment. Again, Pisces energy. Again, connection with, for me, connection with all your spirit guides. Just shy of completion, right? And we have another 9 with this 9. Okay, so it could be worried about what they're going to bring you and how many more damn wands. Yes, something like that. Okay. And who do you want to believe in? Like, what do you want? What do you want out of life? What do you want out of the spirit world? What do you want out of, what do you believe in? What do you believe in? Who do you believe in, and what do you want from them, and what's fair and what's right? And how much time have you actually stopped and considered who God is and who God should be and what the universe should be? Are you okay with it the way it is? Or do you need a different pocket of the multiverse because this one is really fucked up? Again, you go back to the ethics of the third house. It's that third house work. And I'm sorry the school system is set up to make basically, slaves out. Well, I don't mean disrespect to actual slaves. But pawns, shall we say. Yes? Okay. So that's 9th house. There's a lot in 9th house. And most interesting, 9th house is directly across from 3rd. Sagittarius is directly across from Gemini. So of course they have effect on each other. All right. What else is left to know? 10th house. I'm going to run out of cards soon. Okay, crossing, no, in progress in your 10th house. Well, we know. We know. Yeah, exactly. Proving yourself to everyone and being the mastermind. We've got Aquarius energy here. We have the problem in the 3rd house of what you know. And then we're ahead of the game. You've been ahead of the game in terms of thinking about what you're going to do with what you know. And you don't even know what you know. You got to do the research first. And get grounded in that. And get secure. And find your feet. And find your... And, stabilize your ego in it. Yeah? And then you worry about the 11th house. Then you worry about what you're going to do with it. But you don't even, once you step in, then you stop worrying so much. Because the people that you were worried about, they already had issues. I've done this. I've done this. I've done it. I've done it. And you've done it some other way in your life beforehand. And maybe that's what the 9 of Wands is as well, is the not wanting to piss anybody off again and not wanting to feel the rejection again and not wanting to... But guess what? You're going to be stuck until this happens. Devil's in the details. Devil's in the details. I usually love this card. In my Tattoo Tarot deck, Kali is the devil, which is the perfect... paradox. But yeah, no, so don't be ahead of the game. You can't be worrying about what you're going to do with what you know, because you don't even know it yet. Thank you, Capricorn. Capricorn and Scorpio giving it to us direct, not wasting time the way they don't like to. They're not into small talk, right? Aquarius, 11th house. So since what is the true problem for 11th house? Because that's not it. What are you going to do with what you know when you know it? Or, I won't even predict the question. Let's find out what they want me to know about your 11th house. I might just always do... No, I won't always do readings. I'll do both kinds of readings. And what's amazing is that all of you have your 1st and 2nd, 3rd houses in different placements, right? So in a personal reading, it would take into account your actual chart and what houses you're in when you're in your 1st house, right? It would layer it up. Okay. Aquarius energy in Aquarius. Right. So you have strong Aries. You have strong energy in your 11th house. And that's the problem. Oh my God, that's the problem. Okay? This is the problem. You're already stuck thinking like a king, and you need to think like a page. You need to go into student mode. You're in teacher mode. And you need, and if fair's fair, like based on what they just had me talking about your chart. So based on your chart, based on being very smart, but you feel like you know what you know. You feel like you know everything. Now, this is possibly because it's, it's not necessarily, I should say, yeah, but it is in the upright. You know a lot. And you're probably, you're in king energy. You're in king, queen energy in Aquarius, which for me is Aquarius energy. It's 11th house energy. Mastermind energy. Okay, so you're ahead of the game. Your mind, your Mercury is ahead of the game. And that's where you're stuck. Okay, so it's probably an astrological thing. And that's why your chart placements are what they are right now. And that's why, the divine timings are what they are. Because they know. They know that you're in mastermind mode and that you have to go back into page mode. You have to go back into student energy, child energy, and you have to go back and learn. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so Pisces, 12th house, final house. Final house, Aries. going to take me like 7 days just to film all of these. Okay, process. Soulmate energy, yes. But Scorpio again. The gift. The gift of guidance. The gift of somebody, now maybe through your life, in your life around you, but who's that? Queen of Pentacles been trying to get your attention through the tarot cards. Yes, communication from the other side. That is exactly. Moon is safe passage. And it does represent Cancer in astrology. So, guides, roots. You have guides. And I think several of your professional guides are trying to get through to you. Yes, because it's a Queen of Pentacles that's been trying to get through. So it's a professional guide. It's a professional guide, Aries, that's trying to get through to you. And you are like, no. Going back to that Three of Pentacles. In your Gemini, in your third house. Right? It's stuck. Is it not stuck? Is it not stuck? Yes, it is. Why is it stuck? Regarded. Because 3 is between the 4 and the 2. And you're in a couple of, you're in 2 energy in a couple of places, right? In your very first house. Your will. Yeah, you're worried. You're worried, but look, it's costing you. It's already cost you. We already know that there's a loss. We already know that there's debt. There's actual financial debt. Because. So, final word, I think. Yes, betrayals. Betrayals again. King of Swords, thinking. Right? Ahead of the game. But it's also time to turn over a new leaf. And what happens when we turn over a new leaf and go from a 10 to an Ace of Swords? The truth, which we need to find out in Gemini, in Ace of Swords is the start of Page of Swords energy. We go back to the beginning. We go back and we learn. We go back and find out what it is they need you to know. And then then you start. It's not even as simple as boom, you've got your fix. No, then you have all your relationships. Then you have all these guides to talk to, at least the one in particular, right? But you do get to start making that progress that you're not going to make otherwise. You're just not going to. There's only one track. There's only one track to get on. And how many times have we had Pisces? Got the King of Cups. Let's just do a little, carrying my string. All right, ties that bind. And this is from one of my human guides who's now been a spirit guide for some years. Right? But where is that King of Cups in your second house? Yeah, because that's where your financial security is with your psychic self. Okay, so I'm getting, but I just feel like, what other Pisces placements do we have? Oh yeah, because your magician mode. Yeah, your magician, your mind. Oh, your mind. Your mind, your mind, your mind. Your King of Swords. The Pluto energy that's in your third as well. Yes. Page of Cups. There's more Pisces energy. Pisces energy in your fourth house. Absolutely, those guides. The happiness, the unhappiness, the melancholia, the regrets. Again with those 9 of Wands, those 9 Wands, the past that's burnt you out. And you have a lot of, you've got swords and water and earth in your fire, right? In your most, and we've got, yeah, that King of Wands reversed in Virgo in your 6th house, where you're out in the cold and you have to make up your mind about what, you know, get past the institution of religion, get past the concepts of religion, get past religion, right? And get into, like, it's not even like I know where these symbols, I know the deeper magic than this magic. I'm, you know, I can see past the Masons, I can see past the Hermetics, I can see past Golden Dawn, I can see past all of that. I can see what they're trying to achieve. I know what they're trying to achieve with this, and I know what they are achieving with it. Okay? And I know that some of them that have been on the other side for a while now are helping me to work against. Okay? Not because it's all crap, but because it's 50-50. The symbols still mean what they mean. Right? There's nothing black and white. Because black and white isn't anything to do with good and evil. Black and white is on a spectrum for creating a picture. It's just light. It's light and dark. We need it all. It's not moral. It's not morality. That's Masonic and Kabbalistic and everything. So, there were the other Pisces placements. Yes. And we did not have the Hangman show up. We did not have Neptune show up. We did have the Free Will card show up. But, they are letting you, they're letting you do this in your time, because they already know how long it's going to take for you to say yes. Okay, so just be merciful with yourself, but again, you have to invest in researching, because nobody else can do that for you. So what you don't know, all those twos that you're not sure about, there's only one way to solve a two, and that's with research. Okay? Beautiful. Do they want to give any final? I'm scared to ask. Yep. Student energy. Student energy. Now, when you were a student, when you were student age, right? And that's possibly where the debt came in, but also the independence, right? You want the independence. This is a repeat of this energy. This Taurus energy, this 2nd house energy, completes with the 4 of Pentacles. And you need that phase to be over, right? You need to be in your 10s. You're in your 10s in your thoughts, but you're ahead of the game, right? Okay. All right, Aries, I'll shut up for now, but I think that is like, oh, it's such a good reading, and I hope that you feel a tremendous amount of clarity from it. That's the best work I can ever possibly hope to give. Much love, and I will be back with a normal weekly reading in a week's time.